Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm really excited this week because I'm about to start capturing some data on a collaborative project with a good friend of mine called Ollie, and the target we're going for is the Soul Nebula. So, like I said, tonight I'm going to be starting to collect some data on a joint project that I'm doing with a friend of mine called Ollie. Now, Ollie is a fellow astrophotographer based in the UK, up in North Yorkshire. We've been chatting for quite some time, and we thought it would be a really nice idea to do a joint project together. So the target that we've chosen is the Soul Nebula. Now, this is a well-known target in the constellation Cassiopeia, right next to the Heart Nebula. And when I was chatting with Ollie, we both realised that we'd done the Heart Nebula. We got an image that we're both happy with the Heart Nebula, but we haven't actually got an image of the Soul Nebula that we're overly happy with. So we thought we would pool our data together and try and capture one that did the target justice. Now, we both have very similar setups. I'll talk you through mine, and then I'll get Ollie to show you what he's shooting with, and then I'll tell you a bit more about Ollie. Okay, so I am using my standard wide field setup, which you might be familiar with if you've seen any of my other YouTube videos. So the camera is the ASI 2600mm Pro. I have the 7-position filter wheel with the Antlia 3.5 SHO filters in there, and we're going to be shooting this target in narrowband. The telescope is the Askar 400 f5.6, so not overly fast, but fast enough. I'm going to be using the ZWO focuser to control the focus throughout the night. I have the 120 mini guide cam and the small ZWO 30mm f4 mini guide scope. Down below, controlling everything, I have the ASI Air Pro. This is all sat on top of the CEM60 mount, so I need to take one of these off. I don't need two counterweights for this setup, but this is the rig that I'm going to be using for this image. And like I said, Ollie has a very similar setup, so I'll pass you over to Ollie now and he'll do a short video showing you what he's going to be shooting with.
Quick tour of my Astro rig that I imaged the Soul Nebula for Russell and I's joint project. It's a Skywatcher Esprit 100 ED f5.5, focal length 550, and it's mounted on an AZ EQ6 Pro mount. It's super stable on that mount. It's guided by William Optics 50mm guide scope with an ASI 290mm mini on the back, and it just simply guides really well. I get always less than 1 arc second of tracking. The imaging train comes down to a 2600mm Pro monochrome Astro camera with a 7-position filter wheel, which has got all the standard filters in there, and they're mainly astronomic filters, which I think work fantastic. I've also got a Pegasus Powerbox Micro on this to sort out all the power requirements, and that operates the dew straps when required through the humidity sensor. That all works fantastic. And then obviously the brains on this one is an Hazy Air Pro, which I've had modded to have an aerial attached to it to give me better Wi-Fi, although truthfully I just use a network cable most of the time. Come round here and point to the sky. This is my view to the north. I do have a few cables that I have to work round to the east, so I get quite a good field of view. And obviously this is where the Soul Nebula's been sitting for quite a while now, so it's been really easy to image. So that's it. That's my Astro rig, and I hope you enjoy the images.
So thank you very much to Ollie for recording that overview of his rig. We do have very similar setups. Ollie's Esprit 100 has a slightly longer focal length than my Askar, but we do both have the same mono camera, the 2600, so hopefully when we combine this data it will work really well. And one of the things I love about putting videos up on YouTube is that I'm constantly getting in touch with people who share a love for this amazing hobby. And I've been talking to Ollie for the past few months now, and it's been great to get to know him, to see some of his amazing pictures, and I will put those up on screen for you now. He really has taken some amazing images, and hopefully we can add a Soul image to that. Now the idea is to capture as much data as we can over the next few weeks, and then we're going to both edit that data separately. So we thought we'd both edit it and then come together via Zoom and show each other the image that we've come up with, and then you guys can choose which edit you prefer. Hopefully we can get quite a lot of hours of data. If we're going to aim for about 10, 15, maybe 20 hours worth of data each if we're very lucky. So hopefully we should have a very good image, or two very good edits of that data to show you at the end of this video. Okay, so it's a few hours later, it's dark enough to start imaging and everything seems to be going well. Guiding is looking pretty good, although there is just a big spike in my guiding there. But the first image is about to pop up on screen, and this is the moment that I absolutely love, so hopefully it looks good. And there it is, the first image of the joint project. So this is a single 7-minute exposure on the HA, cooled to -20 with the gain set to 0. So hopefully my guiding settles, because it seems to be going all over the place at the moment. But so far so good, those stars look quite nice. So I'm going to let this run all night and see how much data I can collect. Hey mate, hi Ollie, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Russell. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thanks. Yeah, good to see you. How's things been? You been well?
I've been well, apart from issues with gear, but every astrophotographer's nightmare, of course.
Yeah, we've both had a few issues with gear, haven't we?
We certainly have.
It's not, it's never an easy hobby, is it? Especially when you get a problem.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and we live at different ends of the country, so this project has made us sort of gather information at different times, really, hasn't it? Yeah, it's nice to get to know different photographers around the country and get to chatting to them. So it's always good to work with other people, I think. Yeah, indeed. Well, it's the first time I've done a joint project, but I have really enjoyed it, to be honest. It's been good. Yes,
it's only the second time I've ever done one, so yeah, it's been really good. Interesting edit as well. I had a few issues with the edit, but it's good practice anyway. It's nice to combine data from different setups. Indeed, yeah, and it was a lot more difficult than I expected it to be honest. We're using the same cameras and similar focal lengths, but it wasn't an easy thing just to join it all together, was it? I mean, for me, when I joined the images together just with image integration and it looked fantastic, it wasn't until I cast my eyes to the corners to realise it was all psychedelic and going strange. So that's when the problem kicked in for me, but I think I got a good workaround in the end. Yeah. We did it differently, didn't we, in the end? Yeah, well, I used APP for mine to combine them, and then edited it in Pick Insight as I normally would. But you did it all in Pick Insight, didn't you? Yeah, I did it all in Pick Insight, apart from a little bit of camera raw filter in Photoshop just to finish off and put the signature blocks on and stuff like that. But the actual image processing, I did it all in Pick Insight. Yeah, okay. Yeah, nice. But yeah, we actually got quite a bit of data in the end. We got 40 or just over 42 hours, I think, between us. So that was pretty good going. Considering the weather, it was a miracle, I think. yeah. I know it took quite a long time to gather 42 hours, but yeah, I'm glad we managed to. But yeah, I had a few issues with my gear, as you know. The first night I started the project, I had the third oil leak, so that put a pave to it for a bit. But you how long did it take you to get your 20 odd hours? It took me about 3 weeks. Okay. And initially, we were going to do it on the same
telescope, weren't we?
Yes, yeah, that was the plan.
My telescope focuser, so I had to switch to my Esprit, which in the end worked out better, I think.
Okay, so yeah, we've both done an edit, and I think we could share them both, and yeah, show two different edits of the same data and see which people prefer. So, do you want to show yours first, or shall I show mine?
No, I'll go after you, Russell.
Okay. Okay, so this was my image. So this is what I ended up with. I had a couple of attempts at editing this, as I do with most of my most of my images. I always find that I keep on coming back and making more changes, and that just makes things worse and worse. But this is what I ended up with. Quite a standard Hubble palette edit for me. I didn't really do much different to what I normally do, but the detail within that 40 hours of data just really managed to pull out some of this detail, especially these dark nebulas around the edge. I think that really adds to the image. I think it looks really nice. Some of these structures down here.
And I love the dustiness of this image as well, the way it spreads across the whole image, the exterior sort of nebulosity.
Yeah, you can pick up some of it.
I think it's really good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, so this is kind of what I came up with. Like I said, nothing amazing, but I really like it. I think it's really nice. Nothing like fancy in terms of editing, but yeah, I think when you've got 40 hours, I think the detail really shines through. Yeah, this was my edit. So, shall I show yours?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's have a see what's going on.
Okay, so this was your edit, Ollie.
Wow, and that immediately looks completely different to yours, doesn't it? It just completely changes.
It's amazing how different they are, considering it's the same data. But I guess you can edit it so many different ways.
I decided to recently, not just for this project, but I've recently decided with the SHO combination to try and get away from just a standard gold and blue type and brown.
Yeah.
Just for a change of scene, really. So what I've started doing is combining an LRGB combination, but going to the channel weights and dropping the green channel to between 50 and 75%, so that it's not overwhelmingly the normal Hubble palette. You end up with actually more sort of strangely enough, when you lower the green, you get a better green in the image itself, I think.
Yeah.
You don't have to take the green out with SCNR, is what I'm saying. It stays in the image.
Yeah, so you get more detail in the green rather than just removing it.
Exactly, because if you do it without reducing that green channel weight, you then have to basically invert it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. That's how I edited mine. I used the SCNR and then inverted it and did the same again. So you didn't do that. You took it out before, while you integrated it.
And I think that's ultimately what the difference is in the colour palette in our two images. If you look around the edge of mine, there's a lot more green tones, and it also affects the blue. I think the blue's a slightly deeper blue colour on this one.
Yeah.
And you can see now as well, I put star spikes in because...
Yeah.
Or just because I like them.
Yeah, and I really like them as well. And I know you've told me about the plugin that you use, but do you wanna share what plugin you use for that?
It's called Star Spikes Pro. I think it's made by RC Astro.
Okay.
It's a plugin for Photoshop.
Okay, nice.
It's about $60, and it sounds a lot, but it does give you a lot of options. And if you get the odd crazy star you can't process properly, it can actually help with that as well, because it does put its own sort of star glow as well on top if you want it to. So I find it sometimes a bit of a fix.
I really like it, to be fair. I know there are some people who try and avoid the diffraction spikes, but I actually quite like them. I think they look good. But I really love the blue in this image. I think that you seem to have got a lot more out of the O3 than I managed to. So I really like that. And I think it gives it a lot of depth when it's like that as well. Yeah, and you still got a lot of the detail in the dark nebula around the outside. Yeah. No, it's really nice. But yeah, it's amazing. Like you said, it's amazing how this was my edit, and then you go to yours, and it is just so different. Even though it's the same data that we had, it's it is interesting to see.
Overall, an enjoyable project.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I'm really happy with the image, and I think it's like, I think we've got two really good images there. Yeah, well, we'll hand it over to the audience then. I will put the two images up at the end of the video. Let me know in the comments which you prefer. Yeah, do you prefer my image or do you prefer Ollie's edit? So yeah, please do drop us a comment down below and let us know your thoughts. But thank you so much for working with me, Ollie. I really enjoyed it. It was brilliant. And if people want to see more of your images, where can they find them?
I have an Astrobin account with all my images on. If anyone's interested,
Okay.
put a link below or something.
Yeah, and is that just Olly Barrett? Is that just?
It's Olly Barrett, Olly Barrett.
Okay, so check out Ollie's Astrobin if you do want to see any more of his images. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks again to Ollie for the collaboration. I really enjoyed this joint project. I'm going to put the two images up on screen again now, so please do let me know which edit you preferred in the comments below. And if you have liked this video, please do hit that like button and consider subscribing for more videos just like this. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.